My name is Tracy Allen, and I want to welcome you to Cooking with Some Friends. Good morning, everyone. We're going to have for our dessert today a caramel apple roll, and so I want to get that going before we go to church. And I've already preheated my oven to 375. I've got my 10 by 15 pan with some parchment over it, and I sprayed the parchment really well. So now we're ready with our ingredients. I have in my bowl, I have 3 eggs, and to that I want to add my sugar, and I have 1 cup. Just mix that together. And my eggs are at room temperature. Just helps everything go together a little bit better. Then I have 2/3 cup of apple butter that goes in. Give that a mix. I'm going to set this aside for just a second while I mix my dry ingredients. So in this bowl, I have my flour, and I have 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour. And to that, I want to add a 1/2 teaspoon each of baking soda, baking powder, and cinnamon. And then about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So I'm going to mix this together and add it to my wet ingredients. And then I'm going to put this in on that pan that I made and put it in a 375-degree oven for about 15 minutes. Okay, our cake roll is on the sheet and ready to go in that oven, and I'll come back and show you how to make the filling. Okay, so for the filling for our caramel apple roll, in my saucepan I have about 2 teaspoons of butter that I'm melting, and I want to add to that 2 apples that I peeled and diced up pretty fine. Going to add 1/4 cup of brown sugar. And this is a Sarah Crafty recipe, so you might want to look her up. And then to this, I'm also going to add just about a teaspoon of cinnamon and about a 1/2 teaspoon of apple pie spice. We're just going to cook our apples until the sugars dissolve, and then we're going to add a slurry to this and let that cook until it thickens. And the slurry is just going to be 2 tablespoons of cornstarch to 1 tablespoon of water. But first we want our sugars to dissolve. Let's go ahead and put in 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And then our slurry. We're just going to cook this to let it thicken. And then we want to let it cool before we add it to our cake roll. Just let it cool. Our cake roll is done, and I let it cool in the pan for 5 minutes. Then I dusted my parchment with some powdered sugar And now we're going to roll this. And I do want some of that on that edge so it doesn't stick. And then we're going to put this in the refrigerator for about an hour while that filling cools. In the refrigerator it goes. Our icing for our caramel apple roll, I've got 8 ounces of cream cheese and 8 tablespoons of soft butter that we're going to cream together. And we'll add a teaspoon of vanilla and then 3 cups of powdered sugar. We're finishing, Ron's back there. We're finishing up our, I saw that.
Hi, everybody.
No, not only that, it was something else too. We're finishing up our caramel apple roll. So I've made our icing that we're gonna put, they've got the giggles over here, on top. And it's an icing, but it's almost more of a filling. Spread that out. And then over this, we're gonna put those apples that we made earlier and let cool. I didn't know what you were doing behind me there.
Washing my hands.
On our apples. Are you in the chip cabinet again?
No.
Spread those out. You are too in the chip cabinet again. We're gonna re-roll this. And then we will dust it with some more powdered sugar and drizzle it with our caramel sauce. Thanks for joining us for this session of Cooking with Some Friends. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And find us on Facebook at Cooking with Some Friends.